call to order and the certification of a quorum of a regular meeting of the City of Aransas Pass City Council, November 18, 2024 at 6 p.m. Let's all rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Mary?
Father, as we come to you today to discuss important matters, we ask for your guidance and wisdom. You are the source of all knowledge, therefore we seek your direction in our decision-making process and allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of our community. We ask these things in your name.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Now I'm going to go to, this is a business meeting conducted by the elected governing body for the City of Aransas Pass. Out of consideration for all attendees and for council policy, please silence all electronic devices. Furthermore, there should not be no talking, gesturing, or derogatory comments during the meeting. All comments must be addressed to the council and will only be permitted through acknowledgement of the presiding officer. Policy prohibits the exchange of consultation and comments amongst audience members. This advancement of the meeting will not be altered due to any interruptions in violations of council policies. Will result in removal from the city council meeting. Thank you all for y'all's cooperation. Now we're going to go to a presentation about the new fire department.
Council, the purpose of this presentation is to give the council an update on the project timeline and where we are right now.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Brzozowski with Weaver and Jacobs, your construction manager for the fire station and police renovation projects. Just wanted to come before y'all today to just kind of give you a brief update. So we have been working with the design team for several months now as they're developing their plans and us providing budget estimates along the way. And we've been meeting with y'all staff basically on and off over the last couple of months doing the same thing and updating them as we go. Everything seems to be in line with where y'all's budget has been. And collectively, I believe the design team, they're going to be finishing up their drawings here in the next week or two and then sending them over to us. And our plans are then from there to take it out and solicit for subcontractor supplier bids, which we plan to do on or around January the 10th of 25. And then from there, we'll have another series of meetings with the design team and your staff to go over the pricing and everything with the intent to bring it back to City Council for review and approval, I believe on February 3rd. So just wanted to come before y'all tonight and just give y'all that update and see if there were any questions.
No, thank you for the update, though.
Yeah, thank you.
So around January 10th, you said, we'll
Yes,
be
ma'am.
going out for bids for the construction.
We will go out for bids relatively during the month of December, but because of the Christmas and New Year's holidays, it's hard to take bids during that time as everybody takes off and does vacation stuff. And so we typically then push it to the next month, which is in January. So on or around January the 10th is when we anticipate setting the hard bid date for subcontractors and suppliers. And then we have about 10 days that we've got to compile all the data, go through all the scopes of work, do all the qualifications of all the bids, and then that's when we'll present it to the design team and to your folks before we bring it here to council in February.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to go to announcements. Mary?
We have, first one is the fall fees. Ms. Paxton is here to give the council an update on the events for the fall fees.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you know, it is that time of year. We're gearing up for our 11th annual Fall Feast. It will take place this Thursday at the Civic Center. Doors will open at 5 p.m. Our program will start at 5:10. Food will be served at 5:30. And for food, quality control, we'll be serving that for about 2 hours or until supplies last, while supplies last. This is a free community event, and gosh, each year it just keeps growing and growing. We're expecting probably about 900 this year again. And we've got all kinds of activities lined up for the community. We have business leaders, other departments, other organizations that have come together, and they will be adding their own little activity stations. We will have face sticker type things, our, of course, mascot dance-off. The national anthem will be sung by Leanna Wilson this year again. Former Councilwoman Vicky Abrego will be delivering our invocation. A lot of great stuff will be happening, so of course we hope to see everybody out there, and we're very grateful to everyone who's already pledged to volunteer and plans to come out and help that evening. Any questions?
No, we're looking forward to it.
Yes. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, the next item is a workshop meeting. This one's a little bit different. We're proposing a Saturday workshop meeting, and that's Saturday, December 14th. We have 3 items that we'd like to bring to council at that workshop meeting. One of them is the proposed charter amendments. Mr. Isasi will be giving a review of all of the proposed charter amendments. And then the next item is hot funds. What we wanted to do is like to discuss maybe setting up a budget for the hot funds that we have, the monies that we have, maybe creating a budget for this fiscal year. Of course, the projects would have to meet a certain criteria, and that's what we wanted to talk about at this workshop meeting. And then the third item is the sale of city property. So we wanted to know if you all were open to a Saturday workshop, maybe starting at 8 o'clock, 8:30. We anticipate, because of the subjects that we have, it would take maybe 2-3 hours. So for that reason, we wanted to recommend a Saturday workshop. What are you?
I don't conduct any city business on weekends. That's reserved for my wife because she works during the week. I will not attend any meetings on Saturday. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to make Saturday either.
What's that?
I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to make Saturday either.
Well, is there another day that y'all maybe we
Anytime
could
during the
start?
week,
Yeah.
at 5 o'clock.
Maybe start at 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Let's see, let's look at the calendar. We'd have to also work with your schedule, Mr. Isasi. You know, why don't we bring it, maybe,
You can do any day during the week, Mary.
yeah, in December.
Do what?
We're like in a time frame here, because there is a process that we have to follow in order to get these propositions or proposed amendments on the ballot to call the election in February.
What's the matter
So-
with the 9th through the 13th or the 16th through the 20th?
I know on the, what about, I know there's a planning commission meeting on the 9th. What about the 11th? Okay, there's an ESA meeting there, okay. And there's a crime control meeting on the 12th. There's Friday.
That's fine with
Yeah.
me.
I'm pretty flexible.
What Friday are we talking about? The 13th?
13th.
Yes.
Oh, Friday the 13th.
You know what, why don't we bring it back on December the 2nd, and we'll maybe recommend some more dates at the December 2nd meeting.
Okay.
That'll work.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna go to citizen comments. At this time, the public is invited to address the city council and speak on any matter and specifically listed for public hearing elsewhere in this agenda. Please note that the city council members may not respond to comments or deliberate on topics if they are not included on the agenda. Each citizen will be allowed 3 minutes to address council citizens. Wishing to speak should fill out a speaker request form located at the back of the city council chambers and deliver it to the city secretary before the meeting begins. City council has adopted a policy consistent with state law and prohibits defamation, intimidation, personal affronts, or threats of violence, shouting, unruly behavior, and other similar behavior that impedes or disrupts the orderly conduct of meetings, such as distracting side conversation, see section 2-1 for the further details. Okay, now it's George Coleman.
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Brad Coleman. I've been here in this area for 20 years now. I own the Tortuga Club in Rockport. I have acquired property in the old Dignawoody subdivision between Crab Inn and the RV Marshall's landing out there, and I've acquired property in Aransas Pass city limits on 12th and 11th Street by Myrtle. And y'all had a fire here. I don't know the exact date of it, but it burned a lot of that area. And I hired a tractor and shredder to shred the roads and shred the area where I want to build. And I want to build about 500 tiny homes. I set up a mortgage company last week to carry the notes on these because people need affordable housing. They can't buy any $200,000, $400,000 home. And I want to do this, put people to work and see that they get shelter. And I want to drill our own water wells out there, have septic tanks, and not be any burden to the city of Aransas Pass. And we're in a an environmental sensitive area. I don't know why. It needs to be abolished. And I met with your city manager and your planning and zoning person today, and I think we'll get that resolved. I'll be glad to answer any questions anyone has.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're gonna go to Richard Titus, I believe.
Mayor, city council members, assistant chief, everybody here knows me. I have 3 pages to read, but Chief Blanchard's not here. And since one person's not here, it's directed for 2. So I'm not gonna read it at this meeting. I'll read it at the next one. 3 real quick things. Thank y'all for getting started on Buck's Tire. It's not enough. You wanna put a dumpster over there? I'll be glad to spend my personal time over there cleaning that crap up. It's a disaster. Next 2 are for you, sir. Sorry. First thing is about these feral cats. It's not the citizens of Aransas Pass job to be animal control. That's the animal control people. If you want us to do it, put me on your pay scale and I'll be glad to do it. Last thing is, these stop signs. I have come and begged about stop signs in the residential areas. Chief Blanchard's got a certified letter from me about it. I got 1 stop sign put up. Halloween, 4:35 p.m. There was 2 ladies, a 5-year-old little boy, and a 10-week-old baby at my intersection. They got hit and thrown into my far corner neighbor's yard. Please get some stop signs up, because if a child gets killed, I'm not going to let either of you live it down. I'm going to smear it in your faces, because something needs to be done about these damn stop signs and all these people that think these roads that 8 and 9 blocks long, they're bypasses, they're not an interstate, they're not a highway. They're a residential area. Please let Chief Blanchard know something about this, and I'm going to bring it up at the next meeting again too. Thank you.
Now we're gonna go to Josh McCann.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I didn't realize that you guys couldn't talk back, but I was just curious if there's anything that we can do to get a sidewalk on Avenue A, if that's something that you guys have considered. I know it's not as simple as just doing that, but that's why I'm here. So I don't know if I have to do something else, how I go about that, or if this is the... well, honestly, from the high school to where I live, which is the Hogan Homes. That would benefit me, but I'm sure maybe other people would like more sidewalk. But I just know I see.
Isn't Eric already looking into that?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, then I'll wait.
The
and-
grants.
Okay.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Well, thanks, guys.
Okay, now we're gonna go to Will Gardner.
First off, I know this by experience because I was ran over. The city can be sued if anything gets hurt out there by not having stop signs or anything like that. Now, Article 12, general nepotism, general provision, Section 6, nepotism. No person related within the second degree of affinity or within the third degree by consanguinity to the mayor or any other member of the council or to the city manager shall be appointed to any office, position, or clerkship or other service of the city. This probation shall not apply to any person who shall have been employed by the city for a period of 2 years prior to and at the time of election or the appointment of the official so related to him or her. Ram's last council, May 2015. John Gomez hired July 1st, 2016, 1 year and 2 months. Ram elected mayor 2017, May of 2017, 10 months after John's hire date. If any information is not correct, please tell me. And if all I said is true, I would suggest you immediately step down because all the votes you have made or will make can be challenged as you are not qualified to be mayor. So I ask you, Gomez, and the rest of this council, if we, the citizens of Aransas Pass, have to follow the law and get a permit to build or get a permit to set up and sell stuff, why is Gomez above the law and don't have to follow the city charter? And I would like to answer because you can give statements of factual information, existing policies responding to citizens' comments, and before you quote the Texas Constitution, we as a city have the right to make laws tougher in our city charter, and that is then supposed to be followed.
Okay, now we're gonna go to Luana Martin.
Hi. Luana Martin from the Rialto Theater. Good job, Randy. Happy wife, happy life. Secondly, I just got the map of Salsa Fest, and I want to preempt this by saying I'm a huge fan of Salsa Fest. It has nothing to do with anything other than I think it's great for our community. I think it's great for our citizens. I think it's great for our little city. However, if you look at the map, there is a red line that is barricading once again every business in downtown Aransas Pass. If that red line is in fact a barricade. My building was completely blocked last year. It was roped off. I get that. They had beer and wine. They had hard alcohol. They had to barricade it because of hard alcohol. However, standard operating procedures for a business and who's open for operation, you don't typically say, hey, come in through the back door. That's not the way we work. Us being a theater, yes, we have people coming in, bands and stuff loading in the back, but that's not what I would consider standard operating procedures. People typically come in through the front door. There is absolutely no reason to have to put a rope in front of our businesses. The ropes need to go on the sides of the streets, on the exterior part of Dolphin Alley, not the front part of Dolphin Alley. If this is in fact a barrier, my question is, why? Why? Is that fair to us business owners who pay taxes? It's not. We've complained, we were told it would not happen again, but yet it appears as though it's happening again. Can somebody please tell me why? I know y'all cannot comment.
Yeah,
Please
so
feel
then
free
we
to.
can comment too if we want to, and I'm gonna comment this. If it's interfering with your business, it's not right. So why don't we move it down to the other end of the block and block off the mayor's business and see how he likes that?
I agree. Are y'all familiar with the map? I do have it on my phone. Would y'all like to see it real quick?
council.
We
let me,
cannot
um,
have
We're not supposed to be
discussions.
Yeah.
conversating back and forth.
I'll contact
We-
Salsa Fest tomorrow. And, let
Can
me
you
reach
please
out
take
to
care of it,
her.
Mary?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
'cause they said they weren't gonna do that again.
We're not supposed to be conversating back and forth.
Yeah,
said
I mean,
right off the bat,
it's
so.
in red. It's in red.
Had comments, council's not supposed to be interchanging conversation, but what they can do is make a general order direction, say, you know what, we're gonna have staff look at it. Okay, that way, they'll look at it, and then you can follow up with staff to see what's going on.
Please send me an email. Everybody in council has my email address. You're also welcome to call me. Everybody on council has my phone number. Just communicate and answer the question, why?
Okay, I'll follow up with you tomorrow, Ms. Martin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, staff reports and other discussion items. The monthly development report submitted and provided in the agenda packet.
The
So-
monthly reports are submitted in written form. They're not presented, they're just provided in written form.
Okay, all right, thank you. Now, we're gonna go to the consent agenda. It's consideration of approving the November 4th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. Mary? Or- okay, so-
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the November 4th, 2024 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now I'm gonna open up public hearing for Navigation 2044 Comprehensive Plan. Public hearing is on a request to approve Navigation 2044 Comprehensive Plan for the City of Aransas Pass, a guide for development that establishes a policy framework to achieve desired outcomes.
Yeah, before we go into the public hearing, I just wanted to add that the council back in 2023 entered into a contract with Asakura Robinson for the comprehensive plan. I do know that there was a total of 4 community public hearings that were held. There were several elements that were looked at, had to do with land use, transportation, housing, and environment. It is a 20-year plan, and Mr. Napo is here to kind of give you an outline of the process that they followed, and then Ms. Hoyas will do a PowerPoint presentation.
And Mayor, I'd just like the record to reflect that the council is going into a public hearing at 6:22. Okay?
I got it.
That way it's clear on the record that right now we're in a public hearing, and that's the time, it's 6:22.
Great. Well, good evening, members of council, Mayor Gomez. Thank you for your time this evening, and I'm excited to be at this milestone. My name is Andrew Newpel, and I'm the project manager with Asakura Robinson in Houston, Texas. I serve as the firm's director of planning, and I'm an associate principal with the firm. The Navigate 2024 planning process, as the city manager mentioned, kicked off in August 2023 with our kickoff meeting here in the city, and had the chance to ride along with a few of you all on the council. At that time, the process was a public engaged process that did include community workshops held in September, October, and December 2023. Additional feedback opportunities through mailers in early 2024 that were provided with utility water bills, as well as additional engagement with the downtown community and Parks and Rec focus group as well. I'll make a couple notes here about the process as well. Following some transitions in the planning department last spring, we've worked with Ms. Hoyas and the staff to continue to process and refine some of the initial recommendations that were brought out in the last workshop in December 2023, which I know I saw a number of you all at, and again, continue to align the project with ongoing initiatives from the council and from the planning department as well. So I know that Ms. Hoyas will give a couple notes about the content of the plan and what all is in it, but I want to share that we've really worked to make sure this plan is focused on implementation with you all. So identifying some quick wins that y'all can take in the near term to help build momentum, start building towards bigger projects, and really recognizing y'all's capacity and making sure this works with y'all's fiscal considerations as well. We try to make sure this is really right size for what y'all can do, but still being ambitious about what the future can be in Aransas Pass, because I truly believe that of the cities I've worked with, Aransas Pass has really great bones. There's a lot of potential here, and the goal is to help y'all recognize that potential and create a quality place for all residents. So I'll pass it off to Ms. Hoyas for a presentation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. If we can go to the next one. So this is our Navigate 2044. This will be the front page of our plan. And as we go to achieved goals, I wanted to give a little bit of what's happened with the last comprehensive plan, what we've achieved off that one. One of the things is we've gone over deteriorated housing. Over 200 homes and buildings were demolished, so we have been doing that. We've done more infill due to local developers that have been wanting to do infill, so that's been happening. Pursued more housing development types, which is an example of Nelson and 13th Street, where 2 lots were gone through P&Z. They got some variances, and they were able to build on 3 smaller lots with smaller square footage, which is what the last comp plan also approved. More multifamily buildings. Construction of hike and bike trail at Con Brown Harbor was also achieved. Improvements on infrastructure with Harvey grants. There was a lot of water and infrastructure done with that. And maintain improved facilities such as the bathrooms at the playgrounds. And on the next page, we have some guiding principles we went through then and now. So on the 2018 comp plan, we have compact and connected development, enhanced recreational opportunities, improved mobility and transportation options, enhanced commercial development, and maintain a unique identity. And on 2044, it's a little bit more detailed. We still want those attractive, vibrant commercial corridors, compact and connected neighborhood corridors, multimodal accessibility, so we want people to be able to move around walking, biking, or with cars. We want a higher quality of life. We want to honor the history and relationship that the city has with the water, and maintain superior and modern public services and infrastructure. One thing, like Andrew was stating, is that this plan focuses a lot on how to do things. And so a lot of comprehensive plans, once they're passed, are just put on a shelf because people don't know how to read them and how to actually implement them in each department. And one thing that I really like about this project is it tells you how and when to use it. And so some of the things that they have are 4 major sections, which is your introduction, planning foundations, design and revitalization, and then your implementation. And then each section gives you guidance on how it can be coordinated throughout the city. Your planning foundations, that tells you exactly where and how growth should go. Design revitalization, which incorporates design and action items for revitalization in the city. And implementation, identify big ideas. So that is just big catalyst projects that kind of domino into smaller projects that automatically come into play. On land use, the 2018 comp plan had remove and replace dilapidated buildings, which, like I said, we already did. Focus new development around the central business district. Sustainable growth, orderly and timely expansion, and subdivision and a zoning ordinance that was passed with it. Navigate 2044 has growth management strategy map, which identifies where to encourage and discourage development within the life of the plan, with just the 20 years. Future land use map, which provides parcel level guidance for type of development that should occur. Housing mix and affordability, pre-approved pattern book plans, infill prioritization, neighborhood identity, and organization. Another one it has is the thoroughfare plan, and 2018 comp plan had a street analysis and repair plan, thinner lane widths for safety, connectivity, and improvement projects. Navigate 2044 just expands on that a little bit more. Walkability with bike and pedestrian plan, regional transit connections, alternative modes of transportation like bikes, scooters, and walking, and more accessibility for everyone. On open space, 2018 plan had to maintain and improve existing facilities, maintain right-of-ways, connectivity, and improvement projects. Navigate 2044 has a formalizing park plan, nature-based recreation, expanding programming, ecological awareness, coastal resilience, and recommendations for future parks and programming. As far as facilities, 2044 had ensured public facilities and infrastructure are high quality, modernized, and adapted for future change and available in a timely and costly effective manner. Plan for utility services in underserved areas is what we're hoping to do with this plan. Coordinate utility investments with new development to ensure adequate growth, and provide safety services throughout the city. One thing that the old plan didn't have is a design and revitalization part, and this is it. For downtown, we want more walkable streets with programming and organizational cooperation, building design, preservation where applicable, and availability. Harbor side is to preserve the shrimping history and reinvention Con Brown Harbor with connectivity to the downtown. We want to be able to connect those two so people can travel easily through those. And culture and history is historic markers, engaging with people with history, doing some promotional campaigns or some public outreach with the schools. And this last part is the implementation. They have key implementation themes throughout the whole plan that updates codes and regulations to match the comprehensive plan. And that is the main plan that we're trying to get a grant for right now. So like that, as soon as we're done with this plan, we get the grant, and then we're able to match and change all our codes to go with this comprehensive plan. We create a program to return vacant land to use, establish dedicated staffing and management to support downtown, build strategic infrastructure, look at those catalyst projects that set pace for the other projects that would create a long-term effect, and then capital projects that complement our policy, regulatory, and programmatic recommendations to guide and shape the future. The Planning Commission did recommend approval of this plan, and they also recommended a little smaller, like, executive summary of the plan, which mainly has the actions, the catalyst projects, and the capital projects, so that every department can have it on hand and know exactly what their department has to do to make sure that this comprehensive plan is successful.
I couldn't get anything to open up, but I know I went to all the meetings. Is there still no residential proposed in this on the harbor?
That does
Like
not.
housing?
Not,
That wasn't
Yeah.
in there.
no, it wasn't in
That
there.
is not in
Mm-mm.
that plan.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments from the public?
Lots of work.
Nobody else want to make a comment?
There was something that I saw, and this is all of the 100-something pages we got, or whatever. There was housing around the harbor on some plan that we have in this meeting. Can you tell me what that was?
Around the harbor?
Yeah.
I believe that's part of a plan that we had already adopted in the past, and that's why we had included it in the harbor. But I believe the last time I brought it to the council said that's not the plan they wanted to go with, so we're still waiting on direction on which way they wanted to go with the harbor.
That was on this deal that you sent out, and I can't open it up either right now. But there was numerous pages and pictures. Do you have a printout of that the brochure or something of what you did?
Not with me, no. But I can get with you later and go over it, see if we have any questions on that.
There may be people who have questions over it right now. But there was so many pages in this thing that I can't open it up right now either.
Okay.
It might be advantageous to us if we have questions on this to have a printout of what you're talking about in front of us, like the map that you put on here also. Was that not part of your deal?
Which map?
The harbor?
The harbor is part of
Mary, you had
here.
it pulled up. Let me see if I can see what I was talking
There's
about,
a-
if it's on there.
There's a couple of different maps on there, so I'm not too sure which one you're talking about. Yes, it is.
Yeah, and that's the problem, if, and this has come up before, that we had so much stuff given to us that there's no way to go through it.
I don't believe there was a detailed plan of the harbor developments in this document.
Not detailed, no.
No.
It was
That might
just
be
general.
That might be that old Harbor Town drawing he's talking about. Might
Yes.
have been in there.
That's the old
Was it
harbor.
put on this?
Yes, it was, because it was something that was already passed before.
minute.
That's why it was included in the plan.
161, page 161, she said.
Around there.
So like I said, it was included in this plan because it has already been passed as an ordinance. But during the editing of this plan, there wasn't much I could change on there because this is all information that we had gotten prior. I was only able to do slight editing. But like I brought it to you before, you had said you didn't want to follow that plan anymore, and so now we're just waiting on direction on how we should move forward on the
Has that been sent
harbor.
on here?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes. I just saw a deal that had a bunch of residential on the harbor.
That's the old plan that was adopted before, yes. Mhm.
Okay. I'll go through it again when I am able to find it, but like I said, it
We
might
can
be
get you a paper copy.
advantageous to put that in a form where we can see it.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, I declare this public hearing closed. Now let's go to consideration of approving Ordinance number 2024-4468, adopting navigation
Mayor.
2024 comprehensive plan.
Before you do that, just make sure we put the time that the public hearing was closed at 6:35.
34.
6:35.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 2024-4468, adopting Navigate 2044 comprehensive plan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now we're gonna go to action items, which is consideration of approving the refurbishing of the fish cleaning station at Con Brown Harbor to be funded by the Aransas Pass Leadership Class Number 9.
Yes, Mr. Schrader is here to speak on this item, and
Yes.
because it's to refurbish the fishing tables, and because it's city property, it requires council approval.
Okay. go ahead.
Yes. I'm here representing the leadership class of number 9, and part of our class requirements is to have a community project, something that would help improve the city and the community. What we came up with is to refurbish all the cleaning stations that are on Con Brown Harbor. Now, the cleaning stations were built by the Lions Club, and we needed to make sure that we weren't going to be stepping on anybody's toes, and we contacted them, talked to them, and in fact, when we went out to see what needs to be done, a member of the Lions Club came along with us and helped us determine that. So it appears that everything's on board there. What we plan on doing is to replace make new cutting boards for the entire table itself. It'll be inset in the concrete table and also along the sides of that table. So it'll be more sanitary, because right now it's just raw concrete and rotted wood. We'll also fix any plumbing issues as far as drains. I know the one over by the bait shop, the drain's not even connected. The other thing we're going to do is put in a new water line for all the stations that will be foot operated. That way nobody has to turn spigots and inadvertently leave the water running. It'll shut off when you don't need it. We're talking about also putting in a solar light in the cleaning station next to the bait shop. A lot of times people come in late at night and they have to clean their fish in the dark. So we were going to put in a solar powered cleaning light along with a battery in order to light that area up so that they can clean their fish when they come in from a trip. It will require some minor electrical work as well. The other thing is we need to have a funding source. So what we've decided to do is we'll have some bake sales, and we're going to have a raffle for several fishing trips. While we were out scouting the cleaning stations, we ran across some fishing guides that were in cleaning their fish, and they were very excited about it. And they said, we'll donate trips. So we've got 3 that I know of that are willing to donate trips we can raffle off. And there was talk about a duck hunting trip, but I don't know if that's been actually confirmed. We will be raising funds at the Salsa Fest, where we'll have a bake sale and a raffle, selling raffle tickets. The raffle tickets should be $10 a ticket to have a chance to get a free fishing trip. We will also be at the market days, three of those. Those I know for sure we're going to be at. There's a possibility of having some other bake sales in front of the bank, one of the banks here in town, but that's as far as we've gotten so far. We'll have to see how well our ticket sales go and the what do you call it, with our fundraising. Anyway, so I'm here to ask your approval and support for for us to refurbish those cleaning stands, those fishing cleaning stations. Thank you.
That's a great project and a great group. So thank you. That's a good project for y'all. It's great. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Well, I move to approve the refurbishing of the fish cleaning stations at Con Brown Harbor to be funded by the Aransas Pass Leadership Class number 9.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We're gonna go to consideration of approving second reading of ordinance number 2024-4467, granting CenterPoint Energy Resources Corp. DBA CenterPoint Energy Texas Gas Operations the right, privilege, and franchise to construct, install, extend, remove, replace, abandon, operate, and maintain its facility within the public right-of-way of the city of Aransas Pass, Texas, for the transportation, delivery, sales, and distribution of natural gas, containing other provisions relating to the foregoing subject, providing for a severability and providing an effective date.
Council, this is the second and final reading of this ordinance. It's the gas franchise agreement. It's a 20-year lease, I believe. It's a 30-year lease, I'm sorry. The first reading of this ordinance came to council on October the 7th. We complied with all the publication requirements as outlined in the city charter. It's my understanding that in the previous agreement, the city received 2% of the gross receipts, and in this agreement, the city's gonna receive 4%. So that's the ordinance before you.
I make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance number 2024-4467 for CenterPoint Energy.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now we're gonna go to consideration of approving a funding agreement between the City of Aransas Pass and the Port of Corpus Christi Authority of Nueces County for development funds granted to assist with the Lighthouse Lake Trails Park enhancing project in the amount of $226,830.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So tonight, we're seeking approval for a funding agreement with the Port of Corpus Christi. It's for Lighthouse Lakes Trails. We're looking to do more improvements. We're going to use this funding towards repaving all of the roadways and parking areas, and then we'll do a full repavement of the kayak launch.
Good. I make a motion to approve a funding agreement between the City of Aransas Pass and the Port of Corpus Christi Authority of Nueces County for development funds granted to assist with the Lighthouse Lakes Trails Park Enhancement Project in the amount of $226,830.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now we're gonna go to considering approving emergency repairs for the HVAC at the VFW building located at 620 West Wheeler Avenue in the amount of $13,347. The staff contracted LLC utilizing $8,048.45 from ARPA funds and $7,781.55 from the hot funds.
Okay.
How you doing, Richard?
All right. Hi. Good evening. You all want to speak?
Any question?
Oh, okay. The veterans are here for the VFW. Obviously, like the mayor pointed out, we are going to be using two funding sources. The ARPA funds that were awarded to us a couple of years ago, we have some funding left over. That wasn't enough to cover the expenditure, so we are utilizing some of the hot funds that we can utilize towards this type of expenditure there at the VFW. And the veterans are here if you all have any questions.
Yes, and that's gonna take care of all 4 units, right?
3.
3 units or 4 units?
There's 3. One's been taken care of. There's 4 total.
Yes, there you go.
Yes. Okay. And it's my I'm so sorry. It's my understanding that tomorrow morning, I've already I contacted the contractor last Friday. I'll call him tomorrow, and if the council approves today we'll issue the PO tomorrow morning. And he said about a week, 2 weeks tops, they were going to have everything fixed there at the VFW.
Good.
Have anything to say? Don't want to say anything?
We just wanted to thank the mayor and city council members and the citizens of Aransas Pass for your support for the VFW, and we're looking forward to having a great year. Thank you for consideration.
We all enjoy the AC?
Yeah. Good deal, guys.
I make a motion to approve emergency repairs for HVAC at the VFW building located at 620 West Wheeler Avenue in the amount of $13,347 to Staff Contracting LLC, utilizing $8,048.45 from ARPA funds and $7,791.55 from hot funds.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consideration of approving emergency repairs to Compound Harbor Fishing Pier and finger docks to coastal piers and docks in the amount of $82,915, utilizing $43,757.52 from the hot funds and $39,157.48 from the harbor funds.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. So my name is Jim Hollister. I'm y'all's Harbor Safety and Enforcement Officer down there in Con Brown. This project's going to involve redoing the T-head pier and the fishing, or the wooden finger docks down there. The docks and the pier, correct me wrong, they're about 65-something years old, and they're falling apart in pretty rapid shape right now. And we're amazed, actually, with all the Band-Aids we've been trying to put on it for the last few years, that it's finally starting to come apart. And I know there's certain areas where I can lean on. I might fall in myself, and yeah, I really don't want to go swim with the fishes down there. So part of all this project was I went out and under an emergency bid, realized how dangerous this situation is going to be, that I went out and contacted 3 different companies. And I did SR Trident out of Portland area, Corpus. I did a Sherry & Sons out of East Texas, because they contracted before with Port A in their harbor area over there, so had a little bit of local ideas. And I came into Coastal Piers and Docks. I asked all 3 of them to put in a bid for us, and Coastal Piers and Docks came in with the lowest bid. They also are the ones that are most experienced, in my opinion. They did our docks at the PD, where we have not seen any issues with our docks or anything in the last couple of years since they've done that work. So, but I brought in them. This is Decker with the project management, and he's going to speak a little bit.
How you doing, Council? Coastal Piers and Docks comes to y'all with both certifications from OSHA, 10 and 30. And we've done over $1 million of work with the city and county, state, and this year alone, and all of it pertaining to egress, access for public, in different maritime atmospheres, whether it be docks, bathrooms, just anything over the water. When we did y'all's evaluation of the Con Brown Harbor Pier, we found that there was several systems failing, and we put them on a list of paper we can pass out. But the problem is that without further evaluation, we couldn't really figure out what was all wrong with the system. Without removing the decking and taking a look at the structural supports underneath the floor, we're still kind of in a loophole about what all is going to have to be done. So what we did was we prepared a little menu here for y'all, and you can see what the cost will be per item. There's 4 items listed, and they're the most common failures that pertain to piers and docks, walkways. They're all listed.
Thank you, sir.
And you could take a look at that. We already know what we're asking for in funding to do the work. It can be completed. It's scheduled with the city. And so that's why we're here, just to see if we could get something going on that.
Biggest thing, Council, is we are utilizing materials that we already have, which is a Sure Step decking. That's the same decking that's at the PD right now. It lasts a long time. It does not back out. It does not rust. So we only have to purchase a little bit more of that. Now,
Is that like that fiber planking y'all been using?
Yes,
sir.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, I've taken multiple walks on it. We go over to Port A, where a lot of the public can go to that birding center over there. That's all that is made out of. So biggest thing here, what he's talking about, is when we rip off that decking, we don't know what the piers and pylons underneath all that's going to look like. It seems pretty sturdy by me, but I'm not an engineer. So, you know, we're doing good right now, but like I said, this is the whole purpose of why he gave you all that. So.
Did I miss it, or has there been other bids put in on this?
Yes, sir. There was 2 other bids that we looked at. Like I said, Sherry & Sons and SR Trident. SR Trident came in at 200 and something thousand, and then Sherry & Sons was around 150, I believe, if I remember right.
So
165. 165.
So what I'm hearing, though, is we see this $82,915 price tag, but it could go up considerably.
And that's going to be on any project, unfortunately. We can't look under the water and see if there's a pylon shaking loose or anything like that. Chances are, we got a good chance it's not going to happen, but I can't promise y'all that. We're just preparing y'all, and that's the purpose of this, is to prepare y'all for that.
So divers can't go
There's no way
down
to
and
look
look at it?
underneath it to
That's
check
gonna
it
be
out?
our expertise.
Those
To
things
make one,
can be
Jay,
inspected.
Yes,
kinda
that
hard
would
to
be
do the job.
possible
You don't see what you're
in
doing.
some areas of the pier and the finger piers, that would be possible. Some of them are more towards the ground area where a diver wouldn't be able to get to without removal of some stuff to get in there because of the shallowness of it. But I mean, there could be inspections that we could perform or another company could perform to evaluate the situation with some removal of some stuff, and then more findings would be found. But without it, you're not going to know what's going on underneath it. But we do know this: without fixing it, it is sure to fail.
You're gonna have to go down there to move all that stuff and take all that stuff out of there anyway, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Not under the surface.
Not under the surface. Not under the surface. Only thing that would be removed would be hardware or structural stuff that's non-compliant.
So you're gonna attach to what's already down there?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Isn't this where the docks that was rebuilt a few years ago and wasn't done correctly or something? 5 or 6 years ago, wasn't there a problem with those new docks that were put in? Not the docks, but the
bulkhead.
The bulkhead, yeah.
Yeah, no, I believe that bulkhead it's already been repaired and everything.
Yeah.
And what about the
tight-
concrete going down, the bricks and stuff?
Ramps.
The boat ramps?
Sorry, thank you.
So that's going to be a totally different,
Yeah.
separate project
Yeah.
from this. It won't even, this won't be
I
in this scope
understand
of work,
that,
so.
but didn't that fail back then?
No, not that I know of.
There were some issues with the ramps themselves. I believe most of those issues have been resolved already.
They've been.
So the scope of this project is merely, it's taking off all the decking material, the handrails, and replacing the stringers, the deck boards, and the handrails on the fishing pier. And then the wooden finger docks between the ramps, the wood ones, it'd be replacing the surface and the stringers on those as well. So
Are you sure those
everything.
aren't gonna fail there and down below it?
So everything that we can tell from the surface, we believe everything to be okay. Whenever we met with Coastal Piers and Docks last week, we wanted to make sure that they're able to provide y'all with a good assessment if anything is found to be wrong, because there's certain things that we're just not going to know until they start taking off those deck boards to get underneath it. From everything we can tell, we're not expecting that to be an issue, but if we have to come back to y'all later on, we wanted to make sure that we had kind of prefaced this to make sure that there's always that potential.
With this amount of money, I suggest that we take this under our normal procurement for contracted bids, where the city's not just getting 3 bids, but we set it up in our bid format that we do for a bid project job.
Well, unfortunately, this is going to be an emergency thing. We are days, if not minutes, away from somebody falling off of it or getting injured in it, which will cost us dearly in multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the city. So that's why we're pushing.
All right.
Find the things that space between stringers are way too wide. Looking at the ash figures.
So in the past, it has been our practice to follow the procurement guidelines. Anything above 20,000, we would normally come to the council and ask for a request to go out for bids. Unfortunately, also in the past, it has been we have done an emergency repairs and emergency procurements because the situation called for it. That is within our policy, our purchasing policy will allow us to go this route. And as what we're presenting here, what they're presenting here tonight is that this is an emergency situation. This is a safety issue. Am I not correct, Chief Jones? Yes, it is a life and safety issue at the harbor where somebody could literally fall. Worst case scenario is drown because of this.
So is the big pier open?
Yes.
Yes, it
Well,
is currently
If it's that big of
open.
a safety issue, why is it open?
So they're doing repairs daily on the pier as far as boards that are being rotten or falling. They're going out and they're patching it regularly, but the patches are only going to last so long.
City Council, I'll also say, I've been in this position for about 8 months now. It has been a struggle every day to get safety items approved for the harbor. Y'all do not have a harbor master. Y'all need one. I'm a harbor safety enforcement officer. A harbor master will have a budget and will have the authority to go in there and do infrastructure replacement. I'm doing my best right now, me, Juan, and 2 others. We're going out there daily on upward drills and screws and doing the best we can. We're not carpenters by no shape or means. That's why we go out there and contract and get some of these heavy hitters that know how to do this job. And unfortunately, this harbor is failing, every bit of it. This is just the very tip of the iceberg. Another 5-10 years, we're talking millions of dollars we're going to be dealing with that. And as if we don't start heading this project off. If we want to attract people to the city, we have to attract them, but not with what we have. We can't put anything new on that harbor until we start repairing stuff.
Mr. Hollister, I was out there last week on those piers and I didn't have any problem with them. Aaron, can't you send your people down there and look at that and make sure it's okay?
So there's potential that the likelihood of us finding those types of problems is probably going to be very, very slim. One, once you get down there, it's so hard to see. The second they get down towards the bottom, all that silt and everything's going to come up, and they're going to be blinded. There's not a whole lot they're going to see. I mean, we can definitely give it a shot. I don't know if any of our people know exactly what we're looking for. I know they mentioned that Coastal Piers and Docks might be able to do it, but I'm sure that's going to come with a price tag as well. So
I think I'd rather check it because you might end up having something fell underwater and have pretty much a nice boat made out of poly boards and stainless screws, because that's my concern.
It's always a possibility, unfortunately.
And I understand that your people aren't, that's not what they do. I just don't want to go down there and look at it or something.
I mean, we can go look. I don't know that we're going to per se know exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, they're not engineers. We need to have a certified
Do you
diver.
have some?
It
Yeah.
needs to get done. It needs to get done.
Yes, it does.
And we can
Okay,
go
what would
out.
be the worst case scenario? Let's say y'all remove all those boards that we're talking about, and we're just gonna replace the boards, the handrails and all that. So what's the worst case scenario that you remove all those boards, and let's say that you have to replace all the poles or whatever it is, the main structure of the bottom of the pier? How much would that be, or how would that go?
That'd be what we're gonna do.
We would have to reevaluate that to come to a cost of that. And it'd be more of a hypothesis than anything without the removal of the boards. And just, even if we did get a diver involved with it, like they're talking about, there would have to be structural engineers involved with it to read the report and assess it and stuff like that. So there'd be a considerable cost for it, for the evaluation. I know us putting hands on it, though, we could really come across some good stuff on it just by being able to view what's there and how structurally sound it is once we start doing stuff to it. And that would tell a whole lot of the story. And what we found in the pier was not that it was structurally unsound. What we found in it is that the flooring that was on it and the handrails were the most biggest part of the project. We just wanted to make sure that y'all had some sort of evaluation of what it would be if we did find something else. Maybe it was 1 or 2 stringers that would have to be replaced or some hardware. We just wanted to make sure y'all had something to look at, so we didn't come back to y'all and you say, well, how much is this costing? Get it costing, blah, blah, blah. You would already have it. But we really think that what you really need is some new handrails and, of course, the flooring. And they have the flooring we would replace, and of course, we would remove and dispose of all the rest of it. But
So
like-
what is the scope and sequence of your project? What is this 82,000 for?
Well, first of all, it would be for us scheduling the work to be done, and then y'all would pick and tell us, hey, we want you to do the pier first, or we want y'all to do the finger piers first.
But
And
what are you going to do?
we are going to remove all of the wood flooring in that area and all of the side capping, all of the bumper guards, and then we're going to replace all the flooring, and then, of course, if anything was found, that as well. Put all the flooring back and all the bumper guards with all new hardware.
Okay.
And then, of course, we'd move on to the fishing pier, remove all of the handrails and all the flooring, replace all of the handrails and all the flooring. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so, all of this is in writing with Mary's got all this contract?
That was in your bid that y'all have, so.
What are those floorings attached to? Is it,
2 by
is it all wood down there, no metal at all?
Yes, sir.
All wood?
Yes, sir.
The pier itself, looking at that and the docks, they're all, were fastened down with nails. They're rusted. We haven't
Well,
used
yeah, I
nails in
know that.
construction.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So this would use your galvanized screws?
Well, we would use stainless steel screws.
Steel, there you go.
The galvanized will scar the sure step, and so the proper way to fasten it would be 316 stainless, and that's what we'd be using.
What would you say the lifespan of this would be? Pier?
Oh, God, 20 years probably.
That's depending on the bottom
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
what it's
Right.
attached to.
Yes.
And we're not anticipating finding just one, piling done. That's, you can walk on the pier. Yeah, it's safe to that point, but, we're not feeling any shaking and moving back and forth with it.
Are they creosote pilings?
I believe they were, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not an engineer to go down there and go look at it to see what type of filings they were. That's long before my time.
Yeah.
I mean, talking
If
to,
you get a sure step, you're all gonna have to add stringers in between. You're gonna have a lot of balance if you don't.
Yeah, the sure step comes with a different layout than what is typical for just your regular floor decking. But we've already considered that, and we would take care of that part of it. We would be adding, but we didn't want to be removing and then replacing. And the sure step's very environmental friendly. It has the porous holes through it, so the sunlight gets through for the seagrass and whatever it is underneath it, and it'll actually help your structural members underneath it because it'll allow more sunlight in to keep it dry and keep it from moisture building up on your stuff. So there's a whole lot of benefits to it, and you're going to see a whole lot more of it in the future.
You were talking about it being so dangerous and everything right now, and we're gonna get in trouble. I mean, I already knew about this going on, and when I was out there last week, we went in, out one dock and came in another, and I watched that, and I looked at that. I saw the nails sticking up and some of the boards sticking up. I didn't see any dangerous or hazard things that were gonna cause somebody to die right then and there. My issue with it is we can put $82,000 into putting lipstick on a pig, but what are we gonna do with the pig when it fails? It's my problem.
it's gonna be all of our problems, but we don't do anything
If
now.
it's not structurally sound underneath, we've wasted $82,000.
It's any project. In a perfect world, I'd love to build a brand new fishing pier.
I understand that, but there should be a way to check that foundation.
Yeah, and that's something that the city wants to help spend the money on that and hire a contracted diving company to come out, an independent company. By all means, let's do it, but we need to get started on it sooner rather than later.
It's not in our budget to do that type of project this year.
Yeah.
The good thing about the
So if
sure
this
step,
project, I mean, so the, if.
the good thing about the sure step though is if it had to be removed in the future because of a structural fail, it's just screws and it comes right up. It's not a board that's going to deteriorate because of that.
Correct.
It's designed for that aspect, and it can be removed very easily to do whatever you'd had to do in that area.
Did you say we have the boards already?
Yes, sir. We have about 4 pallets of them at Public Works. It was my understanding they were purchased several years ago for this project.
We
But-
bought them like last year.
Okay.
Several years ago, we bought them last year. And
Yeah.
we were gonna put them on ourselves, but that's when I realized the space and those stringers are too much, and they had too much balance, so we just didn't move forward with them. So
Yeah.
that's what he's gonna use, that's what I knew what the sure steps were.
Yes.
So the material we have, except for the steel,
We have
stainless
the
steel.
majority of material. There is gonna be a little bit that needs to be purchased. That's part of that price.
Part of that
But we
price.
have the majority of it.
Okay.
Do
All
you
right.
have a,
Well, the docks and the piers, the harbor is very important to our city. I think we need to move forward. So, I make a motion to approve emergency repairs to Con Brown Harbor Fishing Pier and finger docks to coastal piers and docks in the amount of $82,915, utilizing $43,757.52 from hot funds and $39,100 $157.48 from Harbor Fund.
I want to ask one question, Carrie. $82,000 just to put this stuff on. We have all of the boards, most of the boards. So we're paying $82,000 just to screw this stuff down. Is that right?
No, there'll be other stuff that'll have, all the handrails will have to be replaced on the.
All the demo. You
Yes,
gotta
all
do
the demo and the disposal and the barricading, and there's a whole lot more that goes into it for the safety of the public. It's just not going out there and start working. It has to be planned, it has to be scheduled. Like I said, there has to be barricading put up, there has to be a boneyard to keep everything stored, the material's got to be moved. There's a little bit more to it than just going out there and grabbing a toolbox, walking out there and starting work.
Yes, sir.
I'll be honest, that's what I've been doing. I mean, you can already see my handiwork down there. It's not pretty. I'm not a carpenter, so.
Do we have a second?
Nobody wants to do it? Well.
Joe?
No, sir. I think we need another bid. Need to look at.
Yeah, we can certainly bid out more companies. It's going to take more time. SR Trident was very happy to take the project,
But
but
that's $82,000 of the citizens' money that we're spending.
oh, I get that.
So in the,
I mean,
so in the contract, or the bid from Trident, what was the major difference? Besides the
Their labor.
$250,000?
yeah, their labor. They're buying more materials. They're going to buy it from one of their contracted sources. They're going to use Lowe's or McCoy's, somewhere local, and that's a big difference too. I mean,
The scope of the work was the same?
Same in the work. They were going to do the same thing. They're just a different company that does it a different way. I mean, same thing when you're going out for home contracts. Everybody's got a different price on everything, so.
No, everybody up here agrees we need to do it, but we don't need to spend money twice. I think we need to look at the if those pilings or those piers or poles are that old, we really need to inspect them before we put $82,000 on top of them.
Well, the finger piers at the boat ramp are not that old.
No, they're a little bit old. They're newer. I don't know what year they were put in, but once again, they're rotten wood.
Right,
so,
right. But saying that because the posts should not be.
Right, and we did originally have them put out two different ones for us so we can see the scope of work on one versus the other. And we could take one project and just do that project and then come back to the next one. But in my opinion, the fishing pier is the most damaged of everything that's, is the oldest.
I have a question for Sandra. After Harvey, Sandra, what did we do? What was the reconstruction of the pier? Because that was in 2017.
Go ahead.
I'm very sorry. I know that we did some work at the pier. I know we did the bulkhead. Obviously, we know the bulkhead is a big project. We did some lighting down there, and that was about it that I remember off the top of my head.
Nothing structural to the pier.
Nothing that strikes me, no. The biggest thing that we did out there was the bulkhead that we recently, and there was some lighting issues out there that we did as well. But I will have to go back and look at, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Those projects were one of the first ones too.
So I don't remember us replacing the pier or
Correct.
building the pier.
No, none of that. No, none of those were projects. Okay.
Whatever.
Motion dies.
A lot of upset people gonna be down there.
I want to make a motion that we hold off on this till we get more information and have that bottom part checked out.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Any opposed? Okay, motion died. It'll be tabled. Okay, now we're gonna go to consideration of approving the chief of police to renew the training provider contract with the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement.
Mayor and Council, every 5 years we're up for renewal for our TCOL training contract. This is what allows us to teach certification courses to law enforcement, and it also of our department. So this is just a renewal to the contract. We've already been evaluated by TCOL. We passed with flying colors all of our audits and all that information, they've approved the renewal of the contract, so we're just looking for your approval to sign back into that contract for another 5-year term.
I make a motion to approve the chief of police to renew the training provider contract with the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Consideration of approving resolution number 2024-1068, adopting the policy prohibiting the installation or use of TikTok.
You skip G.
There's,
G, you skip G.
Good call.
Oh. Consideration of approving the chief of police to enter into an agreement with Data Pilot 10 mobile digital forensics device for training, support, and licensing.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I'm Captain Frank Kent with the CID. Shortly after I was promoted, I found a company that was willing to offer a grant for a device that will allow us to extract information from cell phones, tablets, other electronic devices, CCTV, etc. Currently, we do have some digital forensic capabilities, but that is provided through one of our task force officers, and whether he's able to provide us a service or not is hit or miss. This device is a small handheld device. The training will be provided by the company. It will allow us to extract information by consent or on an unlocked device. It does not break encryption. It will allow us to, there are certain cases where we need to get information quickly from a phone, especially. Cases where there may be some threats or communications of a sexual nature or whatever, and we have consent to go into the phone. And this device is fairly simple to use. I applied for a grant from the company. They did approve the grant. They are going to provide us the device, and then we just pay for the annual licensing fee, which is only $1,095. And the initial, also the startup fee is also going to get us some of the support equipment that goes with this for a total of $2,445 for the first year. Right now, if we have to send it off, we have to send it to Houston. The FBI does those extractions for us. That can take up to 3 months. My concern is if we have a victim, they're cooperative, and they want us to get the information off their device, we can use this device. We can get their information, build our case, and return their phone or tablet or whatever the device was to them within 30 minutes to an hour, instead of possibly having it out of their control for a month or so. They'll come down and they'll give us the training. Part of the package is that we'll have one certified user, but they'll also train as many users as we want that have general knowledge of it, so we can use it in the field, we can use it at the office. And again, right now, we farm this stuff out. We don't have any capability in-house here to do any kind of physical extractions from cell phones or anything.
That's only used for consent only or search warrant?
Consent, well, we can do a search warrant if it's an unlocked device.
But that's not just going by somebody and zapping their phone?
No. It
Okay.
requires a physical connection.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You used them, and I see the need for it.
Yeah. So, again, the grant is not, there's no money as far as federal funds or anything like that. The company put out a flyer, said, hey, we will basically give you the device. You just have to pay for the licensing and the training. So they did approve us for the grant, and we just have to have your all's approval to.
And that's renewable every year?
Yes, it's $1,095. They actually do monthly updates on it because it's, stuff changes so quickly. They'll do monthly updates and everything.
I'll make a motion, we accept it.
Second.
Blah, blah, blah.
Can we read the item, please, for the motion?
Gotta read it, Randy.
Consider approving chief of police to enter agreement with Data Pilot 10 mobile digital forensic device for training, support, and licensing.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All
Thank you.
opposed? Okay, now we're gonna go to consideration of approving resolution number 2024-1068, adopting a policy prohibiting the installation or use of TikTok and other prohibited technologies on city devices pursuant to Texas Senate Bill 1893.
Yeah, the last legislative session passed Senate Bill 1893, just as you read. And what that policy does, it prohibits the use of TikTok and other social media applications on government devices. There is a caveat in the bill where it allows the installation of certain devices for the use of law enforcement and implementing security measures. And the bill gave us until November 20th to adopt this policy. It has been reviewed by our IT department, and they are in agreement with what we're presenting to the council today. So that's the item that you have before you.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2024-1068, adopting a policy prohibiting the installation or use of TikTok and other prohibited technologies on city devices pursuant to Texas Senate Bill 1893.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now we're gonna go into executive session. On the Texas Government Code 6551.071, consultation with attorney on matters involving pending or contemplation, litigation, or other matters in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas Discipline Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meeting Act, EPI, ISASI. And it is 7:16.
All right. All right. Thank you all for
reconvene in open session and may take action on any item listed in the executive session.
There is no action, and I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, go Cowboys. All right.